Okay, Emily, you have now, through music video, short horror film, radio production, and all of the work that you've done specifically from the Unit 3 Professional Practice Brief, have done more than enough to meet the pass criteria. Okay, so you have passed the Introduction to Professional Practice and Creative Media Production. You began by identifying radio as your preferred sector of the media to seek training or employment through, and throughout a number of tasks have shown me a real understanding of the progression opportunities within the radio sector, the skills that you'd need to pursue a career, and obviously the training and the progression and the skills that you'd need to become your dream job of a radio presenter. You began by researching into 3 separate job roles, and you chose radio presenter, radio broadcast assistant, and radio producer. And that was nice to see, because I could see here that you was thinking about progression straight from the onset, so that you could go in as an assistant role, then move on to obviously your dream job. But there's also other options in more technical areas, such as producers as well. So that was really good. I think throughout the 3 Padlets that you produced, you showed a good appreciation for the demands, skills, qualities, salary, work hours of each of these job roles. And when I clicked on the first one and saw how much detail you'd gone into, I can't expect that by the time I got to the radio broadcast and producer that the detail was going to have decreased, but it didn't. It really showed me that you had fully grasped what that role is, what that role looks like in terms of if you break down the skills and the qualities, and how you, as Emily now sitting on a level 3 media production course, could progress, the skills you need to develop, the courses you could apply for in order to become that role. And then if you did get that role, you gave me a real feel for what the environment looks like. So what does it actually mean to be a radio presenter? Like, it sounds fantastic, but as you've said in your Padlet, the hours are long. It isn't just the hours that you're on air, it's all the other hours that you have to put into as well before and after the show. And I think you gave me a really nice feel and a grasp of what the demands of those jobs were. So that was really, really good. I put here, think you've grasped a clear idea of what it takes. I think before you did this, you was one of those people thinking, yeah, radio presenter. Then when you actually looked at what it takes to become one and the skills and qualities, I think it was a bit of an eye-opener for you as well. What I would like to have seen is more evidence of contact with professionals in terms of what it's like to work in those environments. And if you think, having now been to Heart, you probably could add to this radio presenter Padlet and talk about what the actual professionals said about what it's like to work for a radio station such as Heart. Okay? And I've put here, don't be afraid to contact experts. Okay, we spoke about this before, and in terms of research, that's a hurdle that we're going to jump over.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. We then moved on to CV and cover letters, and your CV largely well prepared. You had several drafts, which shows excellent practice. So well done. It fits on 2 pages, and you have references. So really, really well done. I think if I open up your final CV, I've said here that I would like to see dates for when you were the classroom assistant. So here in your employment history, it's really important that you let employers know when and where you did things, because otherwise, if you're not putting dates on things, it might suggest that you've got something to hide, like there's a gap in your CV. And there isn't a gap in your CV because you've come from school straight into education. So make sure that your dates sing the truth, basically, okay? Also, when it comes to descriptions as to what you did in that experience, sell your role more. You looked after children. I supported the welfare of children and responded to the needs of their parents. Okay, you can make the most simplistic task sound like it's the most magnificent job role you've ever had. Okay, so don't shy away from selling what you did. You stocked shelves if you worked in a shop. No, you didn't. You was part of a team that dealt with stock rotation and management of the store products. You can use different words to describe what you're doing to make it sound a lot more professional, a lot more sophisticated than what it might be.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Then when it comes to your experience in here, in your job in your personal profile. Really like the way that you wrote in third person. So you listened. A keen learner who seeks new challenges and learning experiences, looking for a career in radio, mainly presenting, interacting with the audience, an organised person who is creative, will be able to think of ideas to help interact with the audience. Fantastic, because I can see there that you've tweaked it specifically the role of a radio presenter. So well done. What I'd like to see in there is you telling more about the skills that you've got. So, you know, it might be that you have experience in presenting, you have experience in editing software programs such as Adobe Audition. Yeah, sell the skills that you have. Okay?
Yeah.
And I've put here, you don't sell your media skills enough. Okay,
No.
that's probably because you lack confidence and think that you haven't got skills, but you have, and you need to sell them, because if you don't, no one else is going to do it for you. So make sure you sell those skills that you've got. Okay? Because if we went into another room, not everyone knows how to use industry standard equipment. You do. Okay? So make sure you tell people that you can use it. All right? I just question lastly whether this is still relevant, whether we're now going for a professional job role. Okay? So how you don't still do guides?
No, I passed, and when I gained it, that's when I left officially.
Okay, so when was that? You're laughing. When was that?
2015.
Okay, so
I just may be suitable because obviously leadership skills and how it is.
okay,
going
just
into-
make sure that as you progress, you keep this relevant. That's the point that I was trying to make. Okay, so as you progress, there's gonna be lots more things that you've done that will now outweigh that.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
I've just seen a spelling mistake on it.
Where is the spelling mistake? Yes. I need to do in a list and when thick. So could we redraft that as well while you're there? Fantastic. Okay. Oh, where's your website disappeared to? There we are. We then had the cover letter, and your cover letter has been well laid out and written very precisely, and you sell your main qualities really, really well. So well done. You've linked them to the practice. You've linked them to the skills and the qualities of the job role in good detail. I really liked when you put, I'm a brilliant communicator, so be able to draw information from people, etc. You're really thinking about what skills they want and basically saying, this is what you want and this is what I've got. And that was fantastic. So fantastically written, well done. Next, I've said, I can see that you've listened to me when I said make sure your examples are specific, okay? Because then that makes you unique and not everyone will then have the same examples of you. But on occasions in your cover letter, I felt that they were so specific that your employer almost wouldn't have a clue what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about because I've made you do the work. But they were that specific, almost down to a task, that they may think, well, I ain't got a clue what you've actually done there, okay? So give specific examples, but you still need to make sure that the person reading it is going to understand it, because it isn't me that's going to be reading this cover letter in the real world. It will be the employer. So make sure they'll be able to link and relate to your examples.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, then we moved on to the survey and the SWOT analysis. I was really impressed with your SWOT analysis. I think you was very open and honest and transparent, because there's no point in saying this is where I want to be, this is what I want to become, but I don't have no weaknesses and there is no threats. Well, if there wasn't, then you'd be that role already, wouldn't you? So it's nice to see that you was happy to almost strip bare and think, look, this is what I want to become, but to do it, I know I need to work on these weaknesses, I know I need to work on this, and not forgetting about the brilliant strengths you already have. So, well done. I just read back here, just flipping back actually. You wrote about Justin Timberlake, for the narrative for Justin Timberlake in your cover letter. That's the type of example I mean. They won't have a clue what you're talking about. They'll probably think that you helped write the narrative of the music video or something, okay? Your goals, okay, you've completely grasped what it requires to gain an employment in the sector. Your goals are smart and mature. So I was really pleased to see that he was really sensible with your goal setting. Now I'm going to ask you, you've put, I will call 3 local companies regarding work experience by the end of January. Complete. Yeah? To have started my 20 hours work experience by working with Gina and 3 companies by February. Now, I know that isn't complete, but because of the first target, this has now changed, hasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah? And to watch online tutorials for Audition to improve my technical skills by February. Did you do that?
No, obviously now, because obviously doing this, I'll be researching and having a look at
Okay.
my technical skills.
By Feb. So just all I'm saying is your targets are great. There's no point having targets if you're not going to Keep on top of them, okay? So if you wanted to transfer some of these onto your Pro monitor, you know, when me and you sit down and do your one-to-one, then we could, so then we'll interact with them more, okay? But overall, I was really, really impressed. Your work is always organised. You're always professional in approach. Always meet deadlines. You work autonomously, but you ask for help. And as I said to you in the beginning, it was constantly, Natalie, and you was asking me questions that if you paused for thought, you would have been able to work out on your own. I now think that you develop the confidence to actually think, no, hang on, let me try and work it out on my own. And you're being professional in not only in the sense of my work is organised, I'm meeting deadlines, I'm working well in a group, I'm pulling my weight, I'm doing what my job role demands, but even outside of the classroom, you're working really hard to ensure that those areas of weakness you are improving on by coming in your spare time. So absolutely a brilliant pass for Unit 3. Okay, fantastic.